back to some more F1 Manager. It's been a while. Been a long time. But we're finally gonna be back. Hey? But we are back from the holidays. And we've got Hungary next. I need to figure out where we were and what's going on again because it's been a while. Leclerc 8 wins this season. Verstappen with 1. Interesting. Red Bull. Oh, this is the pit stop competition. I was like, I didn't remember Red Bull being that close. But we need to beat them in the pit stop competition. This is really where it comes down to, chat. But last time out in Silverstone, Leclerc won, Verstappen P15. Not good enough, you'd have to say. And not been a great 2 rounds in a row here. But anyway, welcome Centrix, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. How are things? How are things?
Welcome to the beautiful Three Springs Valley, here in Hungary.
In Budapest.
You're joining us in
Welcome in
Budapest
our.
for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Budapest
Welcome
was
in.
formerly 3 cities, and today they're all coming
How are
together
things?
to kick off what we
I'm
hope
doing
will
good.
be a thrilling weekend of racing. What on paper could be a low-speed.
So Nevertag. We were genuinely gonna take 20 minutes, but then like a whole shebang happened, and it took us hours to fix. And it was me freaking out for the majority of the time, and then R was like, "This is actually simpler than you think." Who would have thought? Anyway, moving on. Welcome in Nevertag. But anyway, we've Hungry now, but we will play Halo Thursday if R is free. I don't know what R's schedule is like after she's went back home. Maybe it's changed. But anyway, we may play Halo. We will see. Anyway, we have ATA qualifying. ATA. And I think Leclerc. It shouldn't explode, right, PC? Right? Right? But anyway, we now have
Is coming up.
ATA qualifying in Hungary. I think we're gonna go a little less good parts than what we have. And I can tell who's crashed here and who hasn't, comparing the parts. But anyway, Verstappen finished P15 last time out in Silverstone, meanwhile Leclerc got the win. But if you're here, how is your schedule looking? Are you free on Thursdays still? Or has it changed? Anyway, we're gonna save now, and as you can see from the date there, that was the 14th of December, and it is now the 8th of January, so nearly a month in the wait this episode has been. We've taken a big gap, but now we're gonna load in to ATA qualifying. And sure, we'll give Verstappen the toe. Yeah, never tag. We have Leclerc and Verstappen is our partnership,
Radio check.
and then we have
Sound clear.
Stroll and Norris at Mercedes. Hilarious. I forgot Tsunoda and Ocon are big rivals. You've got Russell and Joe at Red Bull. Vershaw and Lawson at Haas.
Fantastic straight line braking. Straight line braking.
Maloney and Iwasa. Sargent and Albon. Mick and Hadjar. Pocher and Piastri. Gasly and Doohan. I think that's everyone. But anyway, we're gonna sim on a little bit. Just check no one blocks our lap, and Iwasa is gonna immediately get in the way of Leclerc's lap. The fact that we haven't played this game in like a month, maybe there's been some updates that have been like, oh, qualifying's perfect now, and let's hope that is the case, because otherwise I'll be a bit annoyed, because I've not played this game for like 4 weeks, I'd say. So hopefully it's a bit more smoother and there'll be less qualifying mumbo jumbo. But you know what? This still is one of my favourite games, his F1 Manager. And it's only their second iteration, so in the grand scheme of things, I am proud of what they have achieved and created. It is a very good manager game, and it is definitely the best graphics in any manager game that I've ever seen, really. Verstappen goes quickest at 10th ahead of Leclerc. Our stream without him trying qualifying 600 times doesn't sound right. Should we just intentionally do it wrong so that we have to? Could be on the cards. But anyway. Where are we? I think we're okay. Let us save. Also, now that we've had the Wi-Fi for a while, hopefully it's a bit more stable, because at the start it was pretty unstable. Mick's gone quickest because by 2/10 as well, you know, just because, you know. Anyway, I think we've made it through. Maloney's out. Norris is out. Iwasa, and for sure he's been Rookie of the Year, is out. But wow, Norris last. Norris has had awful qualifyings this whole season, to my memory. Like awful qualifyings this whole season. But has still got decent points, despite his awful qualifyings. But Mick ahead of Porsche. Interesting. Ching chang walla bing bang. Yeah, we're now into Q2, where Leclerc is going to lead Verstappen out onto the track. Verstappen's going to get the priority here in qualifying. Meanwhile, in Spa, Leclerc will get the priority of the toe. But Verstappen now 2 purples. And these should be both 29s. We were in the 29s. So I think these laps on the medium tyre should definitely be both in the 29s, saying as the hard tyre was in the 29s with Mick and Porsche. Oh, the 12s.
Stay negative.
Am I okay? Am I having an aneurysm? We were in the 13s, I'm guessing?
Just keep your dash.
Oh, red flag.
Dash negative.
Thank God it's not for one of our drivers. It is for an Aston Martin, who are already stinky, as it is.
Right, we're down at turn
What's
5.
Jack doing? What is he doing? Oh my Jesus! Demolished the rear of that Aston Martin.
That is a miserable mark on their qualifying session.
That To see that in real life would be one of the worst shunts
would have wanted to see.
to go that quickly. To go that quickly into the barrier. But I think Verstappen's had a good enough lap, so I think what we'll do is we're gonna put Verstappen out on a lap and give him a tow for Leclerc. Because Leclerc's lap was not good, so he needs a tow. Meanwhile, Sargent is gonna park it at the apex here, yep. Get the fuck out of the way.
Let's try to get the deck down on this.
Yeah, okay.
I'll keep an eye on Leclerc now, he's not improving. Classic Sargent, always blocking. So we want Verstappen leading, followed by Leclerc. And they've randomly switched. Why have they randomly switched? I'm so confused. Leclerc is still not improving. He now has a green middle. He's improved so little. I'm gonna tell him Leclerc to come in quicker.
Okay, that's your P1 for the moment.
I don't have any other mediums, so Leclerc is gonna have to come out again. We're gonna try give Leclerc the tow one more time. But this has been painful. This has been painful. Yeah. We should have enough time. Easily, it's Hungary. It's a 1:12 lap currently. Y'all better not be swapping again. They did it again. They did it again. No. 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 Stop swapping, you fucking cunts. Why does it do that? No, I'm actually not taking that. Why do they keep swapping? I've made the gap way bigger so that they should not swap now.
You need to push more.
Copy.
tried to get them even somewhat close, but they're nowhere close to each other. Leclerc may be out here, unless he can improve. Leclerc's through. Oh my word. Mick's not pushing. Gasly's not pushing. Oh my word, that was close. Oh. That was a little too close for comfort. A little too close for comfort. Okay. But anyway, Verstappen has given Leclerc the toe as he's supposed to be. No, wait. Leclerc is supposed to be giving Verstappen the toe. Been a while, Riz. It's honestly my favorite part of the stream. Like, why else do this if not for the bye. Alright. Verstappen should be getting the toe now. And fill you up? Whoa, what? Hold on a minute. Hold your horses. Anyway, hopefully Leclerc and Verstappen can get some good laps in here. We're expecting low 12s, maybe even an 11 at a stretch. But both share a purple, both share a green. What lap time are they going to do? Oh, they're both awful. They're awful. Awful lap times. Truly awful lap times for both drivers here. We're going to go straight on to the next tyre, and it just needs to be better. It needs to be better. It is Leclerc leading Verstappen. Yeah. The medium run for okay. Porchero's going quickest. I mean, we should still go quicker because our best lap time on the mediums was a 12.6. So we should get better than 12.6. Anyway, where was it? I don't even know what I was talking about, if I'm honest. That really distracted me, whatever the fuck was happening there with Stroll. Anyway, let's check the times. Oh, Verstappen's got a purple first. This is what we need. Leclerc's got a green first. This is what we need. I just want both of our drivers to definitely have under a 12.6, and I'll be happy because I'll be disappointed if he goes slower than the medium tyres. But Verstappen now has got a purple first. What are they going to do through the middle sector? Oh, both yellow. That's not good. Not at all. Not good. Not good at all. And let's see as they round the final corner here. I think we are going to have enough for one more lap after this. Cross the line. Where are they going to go? Verstappen jumps Leclerc. And I don't think Leclerc improves. Leclerc goes a tenth slower. Meanwhile, Verstappen goes a tenth quicker.
That's put you P2.
GP sounded so nervous when saying that. That has put you P2. Last run here now, chat. One more run to see can we pop it on pole, and we need an improvement from both drivers here in order to do that. I have no idea, never tag, but they just are. Anyway, on board with Verstappen we go on a lap around the Budapest circuit in Budapest. And I wonder who's streaming F1 Manager at the moment. Is me and 4 other dudes. Okay. Just F1 Manager things. Anyway, I forgot to get up the both yellow port chairs actually green, and there's a couple drivers around us green as well. Yellow for both of our drivers here as the green flag, or as the checkered flag drops. Piastri's gone quicker, but just shy of Leclerc. Leclerc crosses the line, so does Verstappen. Leclerc actually improves, maybe by 1,000th or so. Russell, P6, but look how tight the grid is, chat. Stroll not pushing, but Zhou is, along with Lawson and Tsunoda. Zhou here now, rounding the final corner. Tsunoda may have a good time here because Tsunoda's got a bit of a toe off Zhou. Zhou doesn't improve. Tsunoda all the way up to P2. Gets ahead. Meanwhile, Lawson only 5 tenths off, but less than 3 tenths separate P1 and P9. Yikes. God damn. Anyway, 3rd and 4th isn't amazing, but we will take it. We will take it. Anyway. We don't have any fresh softs, so we don't. Oh, we don't have any fresh mediums. Oh. Ooh. Don't have any fresh softs. Only have one set of fresh mediums and hards. Ah. So there really is only 2 strategies. It's that or that, and I think we want to start in the mediums here. But anyway, let us load in now into 70 laps around the Hungaroring, and maybe we can fuck shit up. I don't know. Let us see.
As we
Let's see what we can do.
This is it. The Hungarian
Mediums for everyone around except for
and it's lights out.
pole sitter Porcher, who's on hards. How well can we get away here? Into turn one. Verstappen having a little look around the outside of Tsunoda into turn one. Meanwhile, Leclerc's under pressure from Piastri. And Piastri might have him here, but Piastri starting on the softs. A bit more understandable. Yellow flag out already. For someone who's spun, I believe that's Mick Schumacher, who was looking quick in Q1. And I believe that is Mick Schumacher. Just about kept it out of the wall. Did Mick. Meanwhile, Max. Ooh, I thought he was looking for way past.
Just keep the patience up.
And only Piastri inside the top 10 is on the sauce. Meanwhile, everyone else really on the mediums. Porcher, the only real.
Max, could you just introduce 3 seconds of liftoff around the lap?
Porcher, the only real outlier, and Porcher on the hard tires. And you're right, Nevertag, we do need to punish Porcher for using those hard tires. And into turn one now. Can Max get ahead of the Alfa Romeo driver? He has. Max is ahead. Didn't need the help of the DRS to get the move done. And meanwhile, Leclerc struggling with Ocon for company here.
Let's lift off.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fuck me. Leclerc is donkey dirt. He is donkey. He is donkey. Jesus Christ. Oh my God! The middle sector!
Now we should be able to take a look here. Right, let's have a look here as we go into turn 8. It's certainly inviting.
Russell has pulled his pants down in the middle sector. You have to send it now. I don't care if you both go to the race. You cannot let a man do you like that. Just can't let it happen.
Increase liftoff. For the
I don't care if you take him out. You cannot let someone mug you off like that. Can't let it happen.
DRS now active. Currently P1.
Russell going defensive, but Jesus Christ, Leclerc, man. Lost 2 positions without DRS. Impressively shit. Impressively shit. Meanwhile, Ocon's falling off the back of Tsunoda. And, I mean, we're kind of okay with Porcher going here because we just want to manage our ERS here for the moment with Verstappen. Now, what we don't need is to let Piastri through. We want to hamper his strategy.
Full concentration, anything can happen still.
And this strategy is benefiting Porcher.
Recharge off. Charge button on. You can
Yeah, Porcher to be leading the race on the hards, to be able to control the pace. It's pretty good. Meanwhile, Russell over the back of Ocon. We're not going to have any rain. Never tag. I think we can lift off now with Leclerc. think we can harvest a bit with Verstappen while he uses the DRS of Pourchaire. Just gonna blow around the outside of Pourchaire. Oh, and Piastri getting through would have really spiced things up there. But Verstappen now back into the lead. Meanwhile,
Just recharge.
Leclerc is just trying to hold on to the train at this stage. But if he can get his tire temps down, you never know, it could help.
Recharge on, please, Max.
And with Max, we just need to make sure we don't lose out to 2 cars here.
Recharge
So
on.
we can lose out to 1, but losing out to another would not be good. Don't worry, Max. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, sunshine.
Let's push up.
We are doing fabulous here. Meanwhile, Stroll is a bit closing up to Leclerc here. Kind of want to ease off with Leclerc, but does have
So for us,
does have Stroll in behind, looking kind of quick here. Verstappen and Pourchaire side by side still. I'm gonna loosely tell him to back out if I can.
recharge on.
Don't let him send it. Don't let him send it. That is just not on, right? Like, come on. He has sent it through your car. I was about to say that's not on, ref, but that's not really,
Okay, so it's closing up a
not
little.
really how F1 works. That was assault, yeah, you're right.
Crease and lift
That
off
was
a bit,
just
Max.
full assault.
Okay, recharge on.
Leclerc around the outside again. Oh, contact! Contact!
Just recharge.
And we're going to try and use this opportunity to disappear.
Flag now. Here's the replay.
But contact
So here we go, heading into
between
turn
Max
one. Dangerously close to each other.
and Pourchaire.
There, unable to keep out of each other's way.
And now Leclerc has found himself back in the fight here. Max gets the penalty for that. However, Max has now found himself a bit of a gap over the cars behind.
So think about the
But
lift
that
off.
gap could, or that penalty could be massive. Meanwhile, with Leclerc, I want him to get Pourchaire here this lap. Pourchaire does not have DRS, and we need to capitalize on that fact.
That's a purple lap.
And he may even get Russell here, although that's fucking dodgy defending. Oh, that it should be black flag for that. That's fucking the worst defensive move I've ever seen in my life. What was that? Leclerc would have got Russell there if he didn't fucking turn in on him like a fucking terrorist. And Tsunoda now has gotten Piastri. There's now a gap to Ocon, which is okay. But Verstappen's probably going to have Tsunoda for company. Leclerc now going to have DRS. He's going to set after Ocon to join this train. Although Piastri now on his tyres may be struggling a bit to stay inside the train. Meanwhile, Verstappen now has Sonoda for company,
Okay, recharge on.
and we're gonna help out a little bit.
Recharge button on.
Because we know more than likely that Sonoda's gonna get us this straight.
So recharge on for the moment.
Or maybe not.
Okay, we'll go recharge on.
But we now have dropped Russell out of this battle. We now have... Oh, Sonoda's got us round the outside here. I mean Piastri.
Just stay
Is his softs going? Or can he stay inside? Meanwhile, there's a yellow flag out.
We've got a yellow
For who?
flag here.
Who's it out for? Logie Sarge. Did exactly what Mick did. How is Leclerc coping? Not amazing.
You can catch him. We suggest more like.
We suggest more Lyco. More Lyco.
Yeah, copy.
recharge on.
More like. Copy.
And more Lyco. More Lyco. Yeah, and Leclerc now needs to push yet again to stay within DRS. Meanwhile, Verstappen falling a little bit back, but I think he's okay.
Big lift off now.
Big lift off. Big lift off.
And confirm. Lift off. Yeah,
Meanwhile, Leclerc's almost within the window, but his tires are slightly overheating. Needs to
So whenever you're ready, then
maintain the
just
gap
recharge.
without
Recharge on.
overheating his tires.
Recharge button on.
And a couple people pitting already off the softs. I wonder is Piastri going to be one of them that joins soon? Won't have DRS this lap from Verstappen.
Charge off.
Charge off. Charge off.
Charge button on.
And Russell getting a bit too close from a Lincoln. Meanwhile, Leclerc is so good that he's actually dropped out of DRS yet again. So good at the game, despite Piastri having way worse tires. Leclerc is just like that good at the game that he keeps falling out of DRS. That's just how good he is at the game.
Recharge button on.
Meanwhile, Verstappen has been managing his tires a bit better than Tsunoda and the like. Yeah, he's just so talented, Nevertag. He's just unrivaled, some would say. Meanwhile, we do have a big train behind that we need to not get involved with. I was about to say, has the stream died for a second there? Yeah, Max does have that penalty, which is going to slightly change things. See, I had a feeling like remote play was going to die before it even died. I had a feeling it was going to die before it even died. Crazy. I predict these things. I predict these things. Okay, I've fucking We need more flag colours. What does that mean? Hello? It's just not working. Okay, remote play has shit the bed. Here we go. Just every stream, there's some absolute bullshit. Anyway, where are we?
Nice.
We're here with Leclerc trying to get us to, yes, something has to crash, you know, never tag. Hopefully not our drivers. But yeah.
Charge button on.
ERS is fully charged, and we finally got our tires in the right window with Leclerc. But the thing about Leclerc is he is 2.8 behind the train of Verstappen and Tsunoda. So even though Verstappen's doing well on his tires here, he needs like a 5-second gap before he actually boxes. Which is going to be tough to manufacture.
Not too bad, Dan. Good job with that.
And now Stroll and Russell and Zhou and Pourchaire have joined the train of Ocon and Leclerc. And I blame Ocon. 5-second time penalty for Ocon.
Just keep your head down.
Some Lyco, please.
Some Lyco. And our pit stop is not yet. We still need another 6 laps or so. So we just need to keep this up as we are. Ideally, we would like Tsunoda to spin or something. What is the yellow flag for?
Yellow's ahead, Max.
Yep. Now we can see what happens.
What is it for?
Now with
For
the
sure.
things look fine here.
Locks up, goes deep, no safety car. Which we kind of need at this point. No never tag, that is not an option. Stroll is in for his first stop, pitting pretty early, you would have to say. On to the softs. Interesting strategy for Stroll. He's doing a very different strategy to the rest of the field.
Okay, crack on.
And Leclerc is probably going to have to come in earlier out of our 2 drivers. Yeah, Leclerc's tires are starting to struggle. There's a crash! No! No!
Red flag.
Now this was at turn 1. Tries to get by. And the impact on the car, it's quite clear.
Red flag?
Imagine their confidence will have taken a knock.
They're both out? They're both out after that?
Our race here is
What?
as we get back underway.
Anyway, we're restarting now.
And it's lights out. And away we go.
Give us the pushing options. We've got Russell on softs. Leclerc's had a bad start. He's let Zhou up the outside. Ocon defending the inside. There's a 5-second time penalty for Tsunoda there. And both Verstappen and Tsunoda are basically going to have grid pens next time out in Belgium. Alright, we're doing okay here with Leclerc. We just need to not randomly lose out to the cars behind. Meanwhile, Pourchaire pressuring Zhou. Russell's here as well. Will Tsunoda come out of the pit now? I don't think so. But I do not know how they retired from that incident. Didn't seem that bad, if I'm honest. Alright, Ocon is managing the tyres a little bit better. Tiny bit better. Once the DRS is enabled, we're going to try and manage these hards. Never tag, he's retired, mate. Don't know if you noticed. But man is gone. Come on, Leclerc now round the outside of Ocon. But two championship protagonists, Tsunoda and Verstappen, out of the race. This may give Leclerc a monster lead in the championship. Leclerc leads already by a massive margin. And this is not what Verstappen needed, is to retire.
Keep pushing.
I was thinking that never tag. But anyway, magic stars. Well, Verstappen must have like a fucking crater in his sidewad. Or something. I know. I haven't actually tried the Sour Skittles yet, or I will give them a try.
That's good.
We also have... Oh shit! We don't have oh shit, but we do have chocolate M&Ms that are waiting in the wings. No ocean? What do you mean no ocean?
Try to increase light.
What? Pourchaire and Russell side by side. We kind of need these two to battle so that they can waste their tires battling each other instead of battling us. Well, that is news to me, or. But as we move on through, Leclerc leads us away. I do want to be pushing on fuel, but again, I want to keep the tyre temps down as well. Ocon having a little look at this stage. On the back of us. As Russell is trying to get involved as well. Russell on the inside of Asti Bestie and round the outside of Charlie. And Georgie Wargie into the lead of the race.
Try to put pressure on him.
And we're going to need to push here to stay with Russell if we can. And we cannot. However, maybe if we go for another lap of pushing, we can. But we've already dropped 3 seconds to Pourchaire and Ocon.
And slow down now.
But Georgie Wargie into the lead of the race. Leads the race.
Yeah, copy.
And as long as we keep pressing here, this may be bad on our tires for the moment, but it'll help us manufacture a big gap in which we can then manage our tires.
Start button on.
Blimey, crikey jeepers. Jakers Pigley and Joseph.
Start button off.
Copy.
But currently Russell's tyres now are starting to struggle. Meanwhile, we still have 5 seconds to the cars behind. And we now can safely manage our ERS, which is now fully recharged.
Start button off.
Copy.
I think we might even want to have a look for the lead here, because we do want to extend from Ocon. We do not want to be held up by George, who's out of sync with us really, and Ocon's catching at a rapid rate here.
You can catch him. More line up.
Yeah, copy.
And now we're into the lead of the race. Now going to try and push on these hard tyres to see can we escape Russell, who's now on those wounded soft tyres. And he still is going to be with us for a lap. And even with the DRS open though, I think we can escape here. And we can now completely back off here.
Start
And we are a distance down the road, but there's a yellow flag out. Please don't be a safety car. Please don't be a safety car. We're actually in a very good way at the moment.
Now we're watching
It's Esty Bestie. He's gone off.
Why'd they go?
Give him a 19-second penalty. Ref. Where's the 19-second pen?
Charge button on.
Meanwhile, we are just coasting in the lead. Let us try and manage your tires a little bit here. Bring them down. We do not want Russell back in our DRS. That's just going to be uncomfortable.
Focus on tires.
But Leclerc is such a big gap here now. As Ocon and Joe battle side by side. And Russell finally into the box, but Russell's out now on the hards. So we will see how good Russell's strategy ends up being. We shall see. Finally got all the ERS recouped for Leclerc. He can now push on his fuel. Can Leclerc? And then has a good distance to go before we get to the soft tires. But Russell could be the driver to watch here on the alternate strategy. I don't believe we're going to lose out to any of these drivers here. Although doing there in P5 after binning it in quali, as well as Norris, who started last. Lawson. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. But anyway, as we head on through, still a good bit more laps we have to do before we reach our pit window.
We suggest
I believe we can now start pushing on the tire before we head now onto the softs. Meanwhile, Pourchaire, I don't even know what he's doing staying out on these mediums, but he needs the box yesterday. And Pourchaire finally in off those mediums. Meanwhile, we're going to push everything we can on these hards. I believe this is going to be the lap for the soft tires.
and
Box, and pit confirm. Russell now is behind Lawson and Gasly, who are side by side here. Ideally, we want to be ahead of like Albon in this gap, so that we don't have to deal with any traffic, and all we have to deal with is catching Stroll and Russell. Meanwhile, Russell has Mick, Lawson and Gasly all for company. I'm sure causing him a bit of a headache. Actually, we're going to do another lap because Leclerc's hards are not gone yet. So we're going to do another lap on these hards. And the box and pit confirm. Box and pit confirm. And we'll see where we come out. We need to be surely ahead of Ocon, who is 25 seconds back. But we will see as we exit here where we come out.
Okay.
Where we will be. Is it a good stop? No, it isn't. Long.
Sorry. On the line.
It is not a good stop. but we are still out ahead of Albon in the window where I said we needed to be. So we're in the right window. Don't worry, lads. It isn't that bad. Could have been worse. But now we're just warming our tires to get them into the window. And now that they're in the window, we're just going to go standard push to catch up to this train. And I'm hoping everyone here, apart from Russell and Stroll, box to get out of our way. And that essentially we've undercut all of them. However, it may not to be, as we've now joined the train. And I just reckon we just gotta chuck it on these softs through the train. Cannot waste time waiting for everyone. And we're led by Pierre Gasly. As now Leclerc on the inside of Stroll. Down the main straight. Can he outbrake him? Still battling with Stroll now as Mick. As Mick going defensive. And Russell now leading the train. And Leclerc needs to not be held up in this train. Otherwise it's going to massively benefit Russell. And Mick defending for his life as Leclerc trying to look around the outside. He's going to get the traction through the middle sector here. And now he has Gasly for company. Is he going to send it round the outside? He does send it round the outside. Leclerc now is Lawson ahead. If he can get the DRS off Lawson here, it may be the perfect slingshot to get back up to Russell again. And Leclerc is going to go straight through on Lawson. And now he just has Russell ahead, who's a net P1. I believe everyone else who's yet to pit has left it too late at this stage if they were looking for the victory. Meanwhile, it's Leclerc back inside the DRS of George Russell. He's on the soft tyres. We now just need to manage what we have at this stage. As Russell's pushing. Welcome in, Kevin. You've come at a good time. We've 12 laps remaining. And we could be looking at a win here in Hungary. I do not want to be held up by Zhou, so I'm going to push now. And Russell, weaving all behind, may have been held up by his teammate as we now look around the outside and may send it round the outside of Russell into the lead. Can we get it? Can we get it? Leclerc now trying to get the traction. Has the inside on Russell. Russell's defending, but it's on the hard tyres. I don't think he's enough left to defend this. And now it's Leclerc in the net P1 doing his stayed out. Norris has stayed out. Are they going to pit or are they going to just lose time here?
Increase LIGO for more performance. Maybe a chance.
Meanwhile, hopefully we can give Doohan DRS here. Hopefully he does not go in. Good. We've given Doohan DRS. And hopefully he should be able to defend from Russell. But Russell's going to blow right by. Although it's a drag race down the main straight. Can Russell outbrake him on the much better tyres here? I believe he will. Meanwhile, we're trying to cool our tyres. And Russell may send it on us. And he does. We need to defend for our lives. Russell's gonna send it on the inside. And Russell's back through again. Meanwhile, we're trying to cool our softs. Russell dives it on the inside. Had the DRS as well. And Russell looking very good. But as you can see, Russell's tyres are not much worse than ours. He's on 62%. We're on 65%. His tyres are actually going to be better here at this stage. I think we now have to give it everything to stay with Russell. That is the issue. And we're going to go for part 2 here, where we're going to send it round the outside. Meanwhile, Russell sends it to the inside. Big send round the outside. Can Leclerc get it to stick? I think he has it. He does. He does have it. But now there's a much bigger battle on the way. Welcome in, Kevin. Thanks for the follow. There's a much bigger battle on the way because Russell's tyres are very good, you'd have to say. We need to now just to defend, I'd say. Absolutely defend while we protect these tyres. Absolutely park the car on every apex while we get these tyres to cool down. I actually want him to take this. Good. Yeah, I actually wanted him to take the position because now we need to manage our tyres while we follow him in the DRS. And we need to get our ERS back here as well. Actually, if we can go for an overtake, maybe risky. Leclerc may send it here on the inside. Despite not even using any tyre or battery, Leclerc may be back through again here, which will help our ERS management situation. Meanwhile, Stroll may join this battle for the lead as well. Think we now need to defend again.
But I leave it to you to judge the risk.
Gonna park it on every apex as well, but Stroll will definitely be in this battle very soon. So we're gonna have to be defending from two hard runners who went for the alternate strategy, and it is looking to pay off at this stage as our tyres are starting to wear. Russell and Stroll, they're looking pretty confident on their hard tyres. Eek.
Charge button off.
We now need to not defend.
Pushing.
We need to just not lose out to Stroll here. Because if we lose out to Stroll, it's going to make our life a lot more difficult. We can lose out to Russell, but losing out to Stroll would mean we have a monster task to do to try and win here. Now we can harvest the battery yet again with Leclerc. But we're really trying to protect the tyres here and manage ERS. Meanwhile, Norris has stayed out on those hard tyres. They're not going to last. Ocon may even join this battle, because he may catch Norris pretty quickly, and if we do a big enough of a hold-up job, Ocon will join the battle. Meanwhile, Doohan, Zhou and Gasly and Mick have all made stupid decisions trying to stay out in these hards. Pourchaire is surely going to get through all of them. And the drivers behind here, surely going to get through. Lawson put it very late in the sauce, but still may get points here. I've not put any ERS on. I think Russell's going to skate past us here with ease. You're absolutely right. Every driver you see with 20% is not going to make it. Meanwhile, Russell now back into the lead. We're going to try and protect our tyres while we follow him along as much as we can, because we need our tyres to last to the end so that we can use them when battling these two. But we are very close to the rear of the Red Bull, which means we should be able to manage these tyres as long as we can keep the gap as is. Stroll's not looking too much of a threat at the moment. He is within the DRS waiting to pounce, but not close enough to actually offer any harm to us this lap. I believe it's going to give us an opportunity to protect the tyres and regain our ERS. And now our ERS is fully recharged, as Stroll now looking ever closer to our rear. We really need to manage these softs and also make sure that Stroll doesn't get through, because overtaking one car in the final lap may be doable, but overtaking two is a much different question. With the car in the middle would have DRS. Meanwhile, Pourchaire gonna skate through Doohan, but has a big gap to catch Norris, but I think he'll do it. I think Norris should have pit earlier. He's got a lot of laps to do on these wounded hards. I think Norris still may get points, and I mentioned Lawson earlier on those very fresh softs. He's now in the points and could find his way all the way up the order. We'll see as time progresses. Meanwhile, Leclerc now on the outside of Russell, not even using the tyre, going to get straight through with the DRS. And it is good to see that Leclerc is doing this well despite conserving his softs. Meanwhile, if we move down, we'll see Lawson on the back of Zhou. He's going to get him relatively quickly here. Iwasa on the back of Doohan as well. Gonna get him pretty quickly. Our tyres are actually going cold with how well we're conserving them. Meanwhile, Stroll now is dropping back a little bit. But Lawson now on the back of Doohan sends it on the inside. Lawson now into P8. Meanwhile, his teammate Richard Verschoor, P11, still may get some points with Doohan in there. Meanwhile, we'll see how Norris can do. Can he hold off Pourchaire and the drivers behind? Meanwhile, we're doing pretty well here. Stroll may fall out of our DRS as we continue to manage these softs. Piastri now gonna surely easily get by Doohan, and Lawson may get by Iwasa here, as they're both on the back of Pourchaire, whose softs are on the verge of falling off. But I think Lawson is gonna get or Iwasa is going to get the DRS here, which is going to help him protect from Lawson. But they all really need to catch Norris here, who's on really wounded hards. And Piastri going to blow by Doohan. Verschoor is surely going to get Doohan. If Doohan does not have a puncture yet, I'm sure it will come very shortly. Do not know how Doohan has lasted this long on these tyres. Norris now just trying to hold on for dear life, as Iwasa now has 3 laps to close the gap. But what can we do with Leclerc as we go on to the penultimate lap? I think I'm going to push this lap, chat. I am going to give it everything this lap, chat.
Try your best.
Try your best. Try your best. And Leclerc now around the outside with the DRS engaged is gonna go round the outside. Can he get the move to stick? He is comfortably ahead. He's also gonna have the DRS on this lap to try and escape from Russell. to build that gap
We are doing good.
while pushing on the rest of the sauce that he has been conserving for many laps now, and he's immediately outside the DRS. Meanwhile, Awasa battling here with Porcher, and Lawson now on the outside of Awasa as well. Lawson into P7 now. Lawson could find himself in big points for himself, has looked the weaker man between him and Versure. Lawson now round the outside of Porcher. It's a lovely send. He's going to get through now into P6, and he now has 2.8 of a gap to catch up to Lando Norris, who he sees in P5. In the distance, Leclerc now has got a monster gap to Russell, 2.5. Absolute pace from Leclerc. But Lawson, this is the battle I want to see. Lawson, who's looked the lesser man to Versure for so long, may now find himself getting a P5 here as we head now on to the final lap. Leclerc leads us away, and Lawson does not have DRS but may have enough in the tank on these soft tyres. Meanwhile, Awasa now looking for way through on Porcher as well. Can he find a way through on the hards that are in a much better nick than the sauce? Awasa too far back. Meanwhile, Lawson really needs to use the tyre now if he wants to get Lawson, or Lawson if he wants to get Norris. But Norris is doing well here despite being on these tyres. Lawson has not really been able to close as much as we would expect. Lawson really needs to take chunks out of the delta through the final sector here, and he's really not. He's only gained about a tenth. He's not even really gaining a tenth. Meanwhile, Leclerc's going to round the final corner here and win in Hungary, extending his lead in the championship. Stroll gets P2 over Russell. Ocon gets good points. Lawson, is he going to be close enough to Norris? Norris,
Is today's winner.
who started last, is going to have another good result for Mercedes. Lawson gets P6, a very good result for him. Meanwhile, Awasa can't get Porcher. Piastri left it too late. Meanwhile, Versure rounds out the point scores here and doing on 8% hards. Don't know what he was thinking, but Norris made it work on those 90% hards. Norris gets P5 starting from the back. Good strategy that ended up working for Mercedes, although we may have doubted it. It did work. But Leclerc, the biggest winner today, and wins the Hungarian Grand Prix as well. Also massively stretches
Drive we love to see.
his championship lead over Max Verstappen.
Excellent win, with everything working together for the team and driver.
But
But just look at this.
we are back, lads. We are back.
For those
Back after our break, and back with a win.
the Monegasque driver
And Lance Stroll,
with a
the GOAT in P2. You love to see it.
That's their 9th win of the season. I expect them to be showered with plaudits and more.
And as far as those three are concerned, well, they'll be leaving Budapest hungry for more.
Lol. Missed. Anyway, we now have Leclerc with a win and the fastest lap to boot. Lawson with a big result for him in the championship. We're going to have a look at the drivers here. Leclerc now nearly 90 points ahead of Verstappen. That's such a big point swing. Verstappen was actually in the lead of the race when he came together with Tsunoda. And now Verstappen is actually closer to Russell than he is to Leclerc here. Leclerc's 9th win of the season. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, we see George get ahead of Yuki. So George actually looking like more of a rival than McLaren's at this stage. And Awasa jumps 2 places. Albon drops 1. Lawson up 3 positions. Big result for him. Meanwhile, Hadjar scores, and Gasly, the only driver yet to score this season, We extend our lead in the championship. Big result there for Mercedes, climbing to P4 as well for Haas, who are climbed into P6. They want P6 in the championship, but there's a big separation between the top 5 and the bottom 5 at this stage. Meanwhile, our drivers do awful in the fastest pit stop competition, you'd have to say. But I'm interested to see, does Verstappen have a grid penalty for the next race? What are the regulations for? We voted against. Only 4 teams voted for. Okay. But anyway. Let us have a look now at our missing parts. Do we have any design room? Don't think so. But anyway, let us now get some parts to design that will be over the summer break as well. I mean, do we have another front wing coming in? Let me look at the... Do we have another front wing coming in? We do have another front wing coming in. Okay, it's good I did not develop that then. We do not need another front wing. We don't have another rear wing coming in, so I think I'm going to make 3 more of those for shits and giggles. Underfloor. Again, let's just make loads of those for shits and giggles. And suspensions. Yeah, let's make loads of those. Again, for all of the giggles. Anyway, let's look at our cost cap now. 32 million to do us the rest of the season. That is a little not amazing. But I do believe we've did all our designs that we're gonna do anyway. So I don't believe... front wing design would be complete there, or if it's designed here, which, I mean, it doesn't matter. So we're just going to change deadline. We don't need to waste money on that. Now I'm interested, do we have a grid pen? For this race, I'm going to leave it vague because I don't know if we have a grid pen or not. Just want to guarantee the money. If we have a big enough grid pen, then I may just, like, say, fuck it, and get new parts for Verstappen, because Verstappen had the better car, as in engine parts and everything, than Leclerc, but after that crash with Tsunoda, that car has been ruined. So now they're actually kind of more even than they were. A lot more even now after that crash with Tsunoda.
This weekend, we're in Belgium, in the picturesque province of Liège. Halfway through the season, it's too early to call the championship. Can teams make good before the summer break, or will they be hoping for a reset?
Alright, let us just get our worst parts on the car. Because we're going to need our best parts in the race, as it is Spa-Francorchamps. But this could be a Leclerc championship win, which would be, I believe, his third. See, Verstappen does have a grid penalty here. How big is the grid pen though? How big is the grid pen? Right.
Qualifying is coming up.
Is it going to tell us how big the grid pen is? I'm assuming it's like 3, but they're not really telling us how big it is. I think it's Belgium. We just need to start as high up as we can. So we'll hope it's only like 3, as Kevin says. But let us load now into Q1, where Leclerc is going to get the toe this time. Verstappen got the toe out in Hungary, and unfortunately his race was cut short by Yuki Tsunoda, causing an incident into turn 1. But anyway, as you watch the drivers do their laps here, I'm going to go make tea.
I'm ready to check. All clear.
Just a steady build up of temps there.
Warm up on the brakes.
I have returned with tea in thy hand. Verstappen up purple. Meanwhile, Leclerc, who actually has the benefit of the two, has gone green. Interesting. Why is there such a big gap? Oh, I think Leclerc did a stinky lap.
Just keep your dash negative.
Extremely stinky, yeah. Very stinky lap there from Leclerc. Gonna get him back out again on the used softs. Doesn't need a tow really. Just needs to not really be as bad. Leclerc now gonna go out. Hopefully there's no one gonna bother him on his lap. There's Zhou, who could come at an awkward time. Yeah, it's looking like it. Zhou is gonna be at an awkward section here, which could potentially block his lap, but if he gets out of the way now before pull, which he has, beautiful. Leclerc may actually be on for a much better lap than we've seen the first time around. Got no one else in the way. He's gone green-yellow. Then purple. Okay. Interesting. A massive jump there from Leclerc. And a confusing one at that. But yeah, 1-2, here we go. Mick again doing class in Q1. I wonder, can he recreate it in any other sessions? Pourchaire up there as well. Pourchaire always a very good qualifier. But yeah, we're through into Q2, and Stroll, who finished P2, is out. Iwasa, who had a good result last time out, is out. Both Williams and Hadjar. Max has that grid penalty. Hopefully it is not a lot. Otherwise it could be a little annoying. And hopefully we can keep as much fresh softs as possible. I'm gonna give Verstappen the toe this time around. Tell you what though, I am just gonna head off with Leclerc.
Focus on not warming the tyres. Can push.
Because Verstappen will have the toe from that Red Bull. Meanwhile, I do not want to give the Red Bull the toe off Leclerc. Leclerc won in Hungary. Lawson got a P6. Stroll got P2. Russell got P3. The Aston was right there. Could have blocked us. Thank God it didn't. I think Leclerc should have a relatively calm lap here, where meanwhile Verstappen may encounter that Aston. Yes, we won Never Tag. Did you see the red flag though, Never Tag, where Sonoda put out Verstappen? Thankfully the Aston is out of the way. Verstappen here may get a purple because he's got the Red Bull giving him a lovely toe on his lap here. Meanwhile Leclerc is just in clear air trying to do his lap. Leclerc got a purple middle sector. Meanwhile Verstappen may snatch it away as he's right up the gearbox of this Red Bull. Yeah, you only missed the last 7-8 laps. Yeah, we won pretty comfortably in the end. We had managed our tyres beautifully, then we started pushing on them at the end.
gapped Russell behind, and then Russell actually lost out to Stroll by a good margin. Meanwhile, none of the dudes who'd stayed out made it, other than Norris actually made it. Oh no, Verstappen's actually now being blocked by the Red Bull here. And what is his lap? It is a 28.7. The Red Bull of Zhou would give him a lovely toe on that lap there. And now we can save what we have now in Q2. But yeah, Norris had stayed out on those hard tires and kept P5. So he was the only driver who was able to make it work. Meanwhile, everyone coming in now. Norris finished P5. But Lawson, who was on much better tires, was unable to catch him in P6. But big points for Lawson, because Lawson has been outperformed by Verschoor for quite some time. So big points for him. I kind of want a Red Bull to head out to give Leclerc a tow, because I don't really even want to have Verstappen out on track at this point. Yeah, Norris started from last, finished P5. He's been so bad in quali this season, but then in the race he's just a magician. If they got quali right, they would genuinely be a threat, but they just never do. But Stroll is now out in Q1, so the Mercedes just qualifying they cannot get right. Leclerc now a bit behind Zhou. Can he see him? Where is Zhou? I don't know if I don't think he's close enough to Zhou. He's nowhere near him. But Leclerc on fresh tires should do better than his previous lap. Horrible from the Aston there. Leclerc goes P2. That's a good lap from Charlie Boy. Yellow flag out for whom?
Let's have a look at that.
Let's see.
Here we are then at turn
Yuki
17.
Tsunoda, the McLaren driver
The wheels just
who put us out of the race with Verstappen, might be out of qualifying here in Q2. I believe he is. Meanwhile, Gasly's chucking around, Doohan's chucking around, Maloney is. I think Lawson's out, and Norris will be out. If any driver can improve here, let's see what Gasly can do in the Aston. Both Astons through into Q2, but still majorly off the pace. Nearly by 90 points, Nevertag. It's a big margin. Doohan gets into Q3, puts Norris out of Q3 again. Wow. Meanwhile, Maloney now, the only driver who can realistically get through, has been blocked by the Mercedes of Norris and could knock out Zhou, but we'll see. Needs a big improvement here, and the block from the Mercedes would not help. Maloney goes P8, so he does put out Zhou.
P2 confirmed.
So that is going to help us in the race, because we only really have to worry about a McLaren, the Alfa Romeos, and a Red Bull. Very mixed bag here in Belgium. And now we're going to load on in to Q3, and we're going to have all of the fresh sauce to use here in qualifying and the race. Let's see here. We want Leclerc being given the toe. And Leclerc will be given the toe, but there's also Versure here who's relatively close. So Versure could have a good toe potentially here. As we head down the main straight, the Camel Straight, Leclerc gets the purple first, and Leclerc has not been the quicker driver in qualifying so far. But with this toe off Verstappen, we may see that change. Leclerc's gone purple. Verstappen's been the quickest in qualifying. Meanwhile, Piastri, purple middle sector, as he's holding up a Mercedes, hilariously enough. And Leclerc does a 29.0. That's not good enough at all. We had done a 28.7, I think, with Verstappen there. Piastri now goes P3 is Pourchaire. Goes P2. Trying to think who was behind the Piastri there. Was it Pourchaire? Or no. 38.7. I've been getting my numbers wrong all day. But Russell now get a purple middle sector. Not amazing. Goes P2. There still is a gap though. And I think we're gonna have one more run this time. Here, I wasn't asked a mathematical question. I was just referring to. Actually, never mind. I was just shh. Forget it. Just like shh. Anyway, we now want to find the Red Bull of Russell on his out lap before we head out. So let us skip on. Both of our drivers are on the fresh softs. We are now just waiting for Russell to exit. And normally I would do this at like 2 times speed, but I want to get this one right because Verstappen needs to finish his high. Actually, Leclerc is going to give Verstappen the toe here because Verstappen has the grid pen. So Verstappen needs to be higher up because Leclerc will be ahead of him anyway. That's some good math there. How do you like that math? Huh? Do you like that math in Evertag? Where we be smarter with our decisions on the toe? Now come on, Russell. Just do your out lap. Just do it. Unrelated. Alright. Let's see how this master strategy works. We've also got Ocon in this train. And Mick as well. Verstappen, what are you doing?
So let's take a look at the replay. Now we're watching Max Verstappen here. Oh, and they need to be watching those track limits. Well, hopefully not as...
Well, we're gonna need to tell Verstappen to push a little more, I think. Now, hopefully that should close the gap a little bit to
Clear in front,
Leclerc.
and you can go now.
We're gonna now keep up the well, not the tire graphic, but the timing graphic, and see what everyone can do. Piastri's already on a green purple, or not, a green first sector. Meanwhile, Dune is also on a green first sector. Let's see. Leclerc's got a purple first, following along the Red Bull, as Verstappen's got a green first. Pourchaire out on his own purple middle sector. Ocon's got a green first, following along Verstappen. Piastri got a green. And let's see what Pourchaire can do,
Okay, that's the checkered flag.
as he's coming up to the line. Has got a purple middle sector now. Where will Pourchaire go as he crosses the line now? Pourchaire does improve by over a tenth. Meanwhile, Leclerc, though, going strong, has a purple green, but Mick now has got a green purple. Hold on a second. Leclerc now coming up to the final corner, following the Red Bull of Russell along. Verstappen following them along too. Leclerc gonna cross the line now behind Russell. Russell doesn't improve, but Leclerc improves by half a second. Verstappen up as well. Mick Schumacher into P2. What the hell? Mick Schumacher and AlphaTauri out-qualifies the Red Bull by 7 tenths. What?
P1.
Get this man in a Red Bull. What a monster lap from Leclerc, and what a fucking sensational lap from Mick in an AlphaTauri. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's kind of good for us, because now Russell's kind of further back and he's our biggest threat along with Ocon. But wow. Wow. Let's see where Verstappen ends up starting with that grid pen. We will see. But let us head now into the well, we need to do practice first. I want to just sim practice. Yeah, you're right, Nevertag. He did remember he's a Schumacher. Lawson quickest in practice, interesting. It shouldn't be 5 places, I wouldn't think, Nevertag. It shouldn't be 5. Excuse me. I would think maybe 3. Pretty sure the tire to go on in a sprint is the softs around Belgium, but I don't think the penalty applies in the sprint. But as we now load into the sprint,
15 long and challenging laps.
let's see what we can do here.
Here we are. This
Leclerc, the championship leader, leads us away ahead of Mick Schumacher, followed by Max Verstappen, who's had 2 per races. First in Silverstone, followed by Hungary. Had contact with Tsunoda as he goes now round the outside of Mick Schumacher. Can he find a way through? Leclerc now firmly into the lead, as Max Verstappen now may send it up a rouge. He's so close behind the AlphaTauri. Can he find a way through? Following the toe of the AlphaTauri. Can Max Verstappen find a way through? As there's been contact behind, I heard it, and Ocon's dropping like a fly, along with Piastri.
So just watch out for any debris here.
And it is some sort of safety car.
Is everyone okay?
I think it's a virtual.
Okay.
I think it is a virtual safety car.
Just looking here.
But I did hear a big smash. It's Esti Besti and Oscar Piastri Side by side they go. Big contact with both of them sends them flying off circuit.
The cars make contact. Now their confidence.
And normally I will be annoyed about like why it takes the drivers so long to rejoin, but that instance was a big crash. You would expect them both to fall down, and Ocon is out, Piastri is out. We've got a VSC, what is the word?
What's your delta?
Mick Schumacher gets the fastest lap, you love to see it. What is the word I'm trying to fucking say? I don't even remember. Piastri gets the penalty, which is surprising considering Ocon is involved. The VSC is now ending. We're going to now try and push under the restart. I think the DRS could potentially be enabled this lap under the restart, as we've now gone green flag racing.
Ending now. Yeah,
DRS enabled.
DRS enable. And the DRS is enabled, as Mick now having a look down the inside of Leclerc as they head down to Eau Rouge.
Some lipo, please.
And we actually want Mick to be ahead here so that we can hopefully get the DRS.
Can push a bit more.
No, don't want to pit. Meanwhile, Pourchaire is a big margin behind already. Leclerc is going to have the DRS. Can he get past Mick? Mick's looking mighty fine here down the Kemmel Straight. Leclerc going to send it on the inside of Mick Schumacher. Oh, and Verstappen sending it in here as well. Leclerc trying to find a way through Mick in the AlphaTauri. What racing from Mick Schumacher. Trying to prove that he belongs in a much better seat. Defending for his life against the two Ferraris. And we've now gapped Russell behind. Very spicy racing indeed, Nevertag.
Out to those sides.
Verstappen now right up the gearbox of Leclerc. Leclerc's got to start making moves on Mick very soon here.
Can speed it up a bit.
And Mick just seems to have unbelievable pace here. Leclerc will be giving it everything and still not be close enough to the AlphaTauri. Verstappen now needs to use his tyre a bit to make sure Russell stays behind. But Mick now actually pulling a gap here
Straight into Max.
to Leclerc. I think we just gotta manage what we have here while we follow Mick along. Another yellow flag out.
And yellow flag.
Right then, we can take a look now.
Let's see here. Alex Albon
Turn 9, that's the location for this.
spins.
But oh, they can't avoid making contact. And that's not what they would have had in mind when they woke up this morning.
The debris all around.
I don't think that was the spin.
Just keep it sensible on the tyres, Max.
I think you may be right there, Nevertag. Did Russell get DRS? He did not. That's good because we need Pourchaire and him battling. But Mick has been very quick here, but we're hoping he can use... Yeah, Mick is going through his tyre. That is why he is quick. He is using too much of his tyre. Meanwhile, we need Verstappen to close up a bit to help keep Russell behind.
Just keep it
Leclerc now into the lead of the race. Mick may get through again here. Isn't going to go for the move. Verstappen looking for the move on Mick as well here. Yellow flag out. What is it for? Don't even know.
Right, we're down at turn 5.
It's a Yuma Iwasa
by himself, locks up, goes straight on. Great from Iwasa. And Verstappen now all over the back of Mick Schumacher, who was rumoured to be joining Ferrari in this save before we seen Leclerc sign his new deal. But Mick now thoroughly in a good position here. And there's now 2 seconds to Pourchaire and Russell, who have been battling flat to the mat. Nevertag, this was before Leclerc signed his extension. We were debating getting Mick in or Pourchaire, but Leclerc did end up re-signing with us, and I think we would like to keep the drivers' champion, you know, around, just maybe a little bit. Just maybe. Mick now on the inside of Leclerc, side by side they go. Mick and the AlphaTauri looks lightning fast. I think Leclerc got a 3-year extension, so Leclerc will still be around for a decent while. Meanwhile, Verstappen's contract is going to expire in like 2 seasons, I think, so we're going to need to give him an extension. Yes, Max has 1 win this season. Leclerc has 9. Massive difference between the two this season. And the gap in points wouldn't actually have been that bad if Verstappen had not had such a bad Silverstone and Hungary. But now the gap is as big as like 90 points or so. But we've now 4 seconds to the cars behind as Mick now leads us away. Leclerc going to get back through again. And Verstappen all over the back of Mick as well. Yeah, Max has been very unlucky this season. Mick now coming back through again on La Chugga Chugga Choo Choo as Max follows along the La Chugga Chugga Choo Choo train. You can see Mick Schumacher looking for his first ever sprint win, especially in an AlphaTauri, is a bit ridiculous. But Leclerc leads us away. Still as we head now on to lap 13. 3 laps to go. And Upper Rouge, Mick and Leclerc go. And Mick has got DRS here, I think. Yeah, Mick does have DRS. And Mick into the lead yet again. I'm going to now tell both of our drivers to push on their tyres. But here comes Mick Schumacher, absolutely right, Nevertag. Leclerc now looking on the outside of Mick Schumacher. Still on the outside, will Leclerc look to send it into the final corner? Backs out of the move. Now, as we head on to the penultimate lap, I'm going to tell both our drivers to give it everything here. And Leclerc, currently the driver's champion, looking to find his way back through on Mick Schumacher. As Verstappen now on the back of this battle as well. Leclerc takes the lead of the race. Max Verstappen now all over the rear of Mick Schumacher. May have the traction on Mick as they're about to head up a Rouge. Mick is going to keep it ahead just about. Can Leclerc defend from Mick? Will Max get through on Mick? Has the DRS engaged? Max unable to close to get past. But can Leclerc now head down the road away from the drivers behind who are following closely along? Can Max now find a way through Mick as he's trying to dive to the inside. Mick now defending the inside of Pouon. Verstappen all over the rear of that AlphaTauri. They're losing slight amounts of time to Leclerc, who's out in front. And that gap is growing to Leclerc. Verstappen sends it here. What a send from Verstappen. What a send. Verstappen with a send out of nowhere to get through on Mick. Verstappen now into P2 with a monster send on the AlphaTauri. And may have one more shot here now to get his teammate. As we head now on to the final lap of this sprint race, Max is going to have one more shot at overtaking Leclerc here. What is the yellow flag for?
Now the focus is
It's Lando Norris,
all right so far. The
who's outbroke himself, and that has thrown away his sprint race. Meanwhile, Verstappen's going to try and give it everything to get past Leclerc. Leclerc's going to try and defend with everything he can. Who's going to come out on top? Leclerc. Max isn't even pulling out of the toe. That was depressing. Is Max going to look to send it throughout this lap? I'll tell you what, if you turn on always defend, I swear the drivers behind never actually go for the move. Never mind! Max right the outside of Pouon, will he go for it? No.
and here we've got a yellow flag.
Another yellow flag for what? Oh, showing the Haas. Big crash again. Let's test this theory. If Max does not send it at all this lap, then my theory is correct that if you just click always defend, he does send it! Max into the lead! Okay, I just need to tell him fucking both throw everything at it. Max now on the inside into the lead of the race! He did actually send it! Leclerc! Can he find a way back through again, or will Verstappen get this sprint race win and start to turn his luck? Verstappen through. Leclerc has no answer. And Verstappen wins the sprint. Mick gets P3. Maloney side by side with Russell. Drag race to the end. Maloney gets P4. Brilliant. Brilliant from Maloney.
P2.
For sure gets more points. Doohan gets points for Aston. But what a mad send on the last lap from Verstappen. Mad send. What a send from Verstappen. I was thinking, oh, Leclerc's just going to defend here and Verstappen's never going to get through, but he actually did get through. Turns out they have fixed that.
A terrific sprint win from Max Verstappen here today.
And what a well-deserved P1 finish that was. Absolutely outstanding.
But wow. Yeah, the theory did get proved wrong immediately. Leclerc gets the fastest lap, which doesn't matter in the sprint, but Max wins the sprint. Big points for him, but I wonder what grid penalty that Max has now. 3-place grid penalty drops him down to P4, which is very interesting. And I think we're going to try the alternate strategy of the medium shaft. Medium shaft. Because there is the soft medium, but I think we want to go for the
medium soft with both drivers here. Not the inters, unfortunately. There's no rain. No rain expected. No rain expected. Yeah, I think so. Let's not use the inter tires. But Mick is going to be starting P2, and he was very quick. He was a big threat the whole race. I wonder who's I think it's Maloney that's ahead of Verstappen here.
You can hear the excitement in the crowd here.
Yeah, it's Maloney.
Grand Prix.
And everyone inside
And away we go.
the top 7 apart from Russell on the medium tires. Can Leclerc get away well here? He's got away very well. No one even trying him into turn 1. Meanwhile, Verstappen on the inside of Maloney immediately as he goes to war with the Alpine as they head now up a Rouge. Max on the inside, Maloney on the outside. It's a drag race now, down the back straight now, as Leclerc has Mick Schumacher for company. Max on the inside of Maloney. Who's going to come out on top here? Max still battling with Maloney. Max has found his way through.
Just keep the patience up, Max. Okay.
And that is Leclerc now
Good with that.
comfortably in the lead, but Mick looking pretty quick here.
Copy. Let's lift off.
Copy.
Meanwhile, Verstappen is still dumping the battery and not really gaining to Mick and Leclerc here. I think you do have to dump your battery out of the final corner.
Yep.
Leclerc now gonna try and defend from Mick if he can. Verstappen still struggling to stay with them. What? Max is genuinely ERS engaged, fuel and tires. We're gonna tell Leclerc to back off here
Got the tires.
so that Verstappen does not need to push as hard, but wow. But Mick now on the inside of Pouon. Jesus Christ.
So, lift off. Yep.
What does that even mean? Never tag. What does that even mean? Yellow flag.
You just introduce 3 seconds of lift off around.
And Doohan now has formed a gap behind us. Who's went off here? Is it Verschoor? Verschoor was who was P7,
We've seen
gone
a few
deep
on the track there.
and forgot how to rejoin.
To the disadvantage.
That's Verschoor gone.
Increase your lift and coast a little bit more, please. Okay. So, cool the tyres.
So cool the tires, cool the tires. And the DRS enable, DRS enable. And Mick is trying to piece out.
You can catch him.
Mick's trying to piece out.
Okay, Max. You can cancel or reduce lift off where possible. Okay.
We may have dropped Maloney a little bit here.
Copy.
Nah, Maloney's still sort of inside the DRS. We'll see
You're not fuel lift.
as he heads up a Rouge. Does he open it up or does he have Russell all over his gearbox? He does open it up, which is not ideal. But Mick has been so fast this weekend as Leclerc's a little look around the outside. But Can we pull a gap now to Maloney? I think we have been.
Look after the tyres.
I'm going to tell Verstappen to not fight his teammate, because we just want to head down the road away from the drivers behind. That's Leclerc now into the lead of the race.
Yeah, doing really well.
And Verstappen now starting to ease back on his tyres. Starting to cool down now, which is where we need them to be. Mick has been using his mediums a bit more. Meanwhile, Russell on the softs is going to be a little bit of a threat here,
Max, just to confirm it's thermal.
as Mick sends it on the inside of Leclerc. Eek.
Charge on. Positive on dash. Recharge on.
Side by side, Leclerc and Mick go, and there's contact! Surely caused by Mick. No damage, it seems, for Leclerc. Surely Mick's fault there.
They took turn 8.
Mick lost the rear into Leclerc
And not just one car involved in
and forced him off. But that is going to massively benefit Russell here, and this may really hamper Mick's race. He's lost about 10% in tyre wear, as well as getting that penalty, which could really hamper him here in this race.
Slow down.
Mick could have been on for a podium this race, but now that penalty could sabotage that. You're right, Nevertag. Few, we do not have the pain or damage, which either or would have been very annoying. Mick again. Mick again has to back out because Verstappen sent it. Cut him off. Russell now round the outside of Mick. We need Mick to stay out of Russell, because Russell on the softs could pose a problem. We need our medium strategy to be the quickest, so we need to waste essentially his soft strategy, not allowed to use those softs in clear air. So we can have to work with Mick here, letting him through in order to not let Russell through. Or not even letting him through, but just making sure that Russell does not overtake him. Meanwhile, Leclerc, I'm going to tell Leclerc to pressure Russell if we can. And also, he could hopefully pull a gap to Maloney here.
And save fuel.
Copy.
Now Maloney's still inside the DRS. And the good thing about Mick, though, is that whenever we want to drop him, we can, because he is on a lot more used mediums due to that little contact we had with him. But side by side again we go, down the left hand, or down the right hander, down the hill again. Has to concede the position as there's another yellow flag out.
Right ahead.
Who for? Was it Ocon? No, it was Gasly, who was P9. Would have been big points for him, and he spins. And unfortunate for Gasly there, you'd have to say. Meanwhile, this train goes all the way down to P8. So fascinating what can happen here. But Russell again defending the inside. And now we finally drop Porcher to the train, which can hopefully
Not too bad, that.
It's a good stint so far.
mean we don't have to worry about Porcher and all the drivers behind as well. But we're still wasting Russell's tyres, which is good. Russell has about 10 more laps on those softs before he comes in. And realistically, I think we could drop. Let's see, can we get... Oh, we can. Oh, wow. I did not expect it to happen that soon.
But this is what happened.
Wow.
Here we are then at turn 15. They decide to give it a go.
Leclerc just sends it at 15 like Verstappen had done twice in the sprint race, which helped him end up winning the sprint race.
Lift off now.
Okay.
But here we may be able to drop Russell out of the battle for the lead, which will massively help us, and Russell could even hold up Maloney here. Which will massively help us. But Russell doesn't have the DRS, but he's almost inside the DRS. But Maloney now sends it through. Hopefully these two can continue to battle, wasting each other's time as we head on into the lead of the race. You can see Leclerc's tyres are a bit harmed from that little bit of contact with Mick, but Mick's tyres are a whole lot worse. Another yellow flag out, and we're trying to push to escape Maloney here. I thought he was running right into the back of him.
Take a closer look.
Wow.
Now this happens down at turn 8.
Lando Norris, it has gone from bad to worse, locks up again.
Hopefully there's not too much damage to the tyres.
Yeah, Russell still battling Maloney here. We're now 1.8 to Maloney. Just kind of where we need to be. Yeah, 1.9 now. Hopefully Russell can send it on Maloney to have him waste even more time. Meanwhile, Mick trying to send it back through again. Battling Mick isn't that big of a deal. We just need to not have contact with him. Because in the pit stops, he's going to lose out massively with that pen. So when it gets to the pit stops, it's really not going to be that much of a worry. We're now 2.8 ahead of Maloney. Mick now on the inside of Verstappen. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. Mick's gotten back through again. Verstappen now right on the back of Mick. Can Verstappen find a way through here? Still side by side they go. This time Verstappen has the inside down the hill. Mick really trying to be later on the brakes. But Max is going to get through. And Mick's still looking relatively quick on these tires, despite them being a whole lot worse than ours. Yeah, it is Mick's fucking... It is his race of his career right here. And we're almost 5 seconds ahead of the gap behind, so even with the pen, Mick may end up still getting a podium here. And he's now battling again down the hill. But Mick on these worst tyres is still looking
mighty fine. Really mighty fine. Still side by side they're going.
It's nearly impossible to race like this. We'll get back.
And Leclerc sends it on Verstappen. He's sick of watching them. Leclerc with a opportunistic move on his teammate. And they didn't even give us a replay for that. Didn't even give us a replay for that. The one overtake we wanted a fucking replay for, they don't get. Everyone now coming in off the softs, including George Russell. Meanwhile, we have got to start using these medium tyres to make sure that there's none left. Meanwhile, Mick trying to use his medium tyre. I think now is the time to also dump the battery to try and escape Mick. Mick is almost 30% on his mediums. Leclerc now on the back of Mick, round the outside with the DRS. Can Leclerc secure the move before the braking zone? Mick still relatively there, but it's a comfortable move for Leclerc. Can Leclerc now escape from, as Verstappen does the move again at turn 15, sends it on the inside of Mick. Unbelievable scenes.
Don't take any risk, please, man.
Give us a replay, please.
Now we should be able to take a look here.
Here we go. Turn 15, sends it again, does Max,
Opens up for them.
and gets ahead of Mick Schumacher. Meanwhile, both their drivers here are trying to escape Mick, who's still holding on to the DRS, but will surely be out of it now. And Max now charging. Will he be able to find a position?
Very good lap.
Is he gonna send it? Oh! We're now gonna back off the fuel. I just wanted to pull a gap to Mick so that he would be certainly left in the dust from us, but he's still 6 seconds ahead of Maloney, who's really managed those mediums for what? I don't know. But anyway.
Good to push up.
Our drivers now are actually battling. Oh, Leclerc cut him off. As Verstappen now charging after his teammate. Gotta check my blood pressure after the race. Maybe. Anyway. Verstappen now on the back of Leclerc. Still unable to find a way through. Leclerc will have one more lap on these mediums. There's multiple drivers crashed. Is there a safety car on the horizon? Mick still yet to box off the mediums onto the softs. Lawson on the inside of two cars. This doesn't look good. Oh, only hits the Aston, thank the Lord, but big contact with the Aston there. That could be the Aston races, their race done, because there may be some gearbox damage as well there. We're going to do one more lap here with Leclerc, then he's coming in.
Just to confirm it's thermal deck.
Meanwhile, Verstappen right up the gearbox of Le Chugga Chugga Choo Choo. May send it around the outside here. And it was Doohan got blamed for that crash. Interesting. And we need Leclerc now onto the fresh softs. But Verstappen's going to do another lap
before he heads on to the fresh softs. Russell now is 20 seconds back. We could maybe... I think we may exit here ahead of Piastri, hopefully.
Charles pit lane.
You're absolutely right, R. There's been a lot of contact so far this weekend.
So box and pit confirm.
And especially even in Hungary as well. A lot of contact. But as we head now... Oh! I want to see Leclerc. Did he get held up? I don't think he did. Mick's only going in now yet to serve his penalty as well. I wonder where Mick is going to exit. Leclerc may exit in the lead. Leclerc's going to exit in the lead on the softs. Unbelievable. Mick now on the softs gets ahead of Maloney, who's having a horrific stop. Where's Mick going to come out? Mick comes out ahead of the train of Piastri and co. Brilliant stop for Mick. Mick may get Russell here, even with the big penalty that he had. Meanwhile, Leclerc surely in a great position here. 5 seconds ahead of Iwasa, who's yet to pit. We have overcut the whole field. But yeah, Mick could get a podium here. Will be probably his best weekend of his career. Got the P3 in the sprint. Could see P3 again in an AlphaTauri. In an AlphaTauri. But he does have Stroll and co for company, but he has much better tyres than the rest of them. Meanwhile, Iwasa is still yet to box. And Max now is coming in. Let's see how powerful the undercut was for Leclerc. Verstappen will have the better tyres, but Leclerc now heads down the main straight. And where will Verstappen exit? We see Leclerc come into turn 1. As Verstappen now exits, Leclerc is strongly ahead. There's a good margin there between the drivers. 1.5 seconds is the gap as it currently stands.
Look after tires.
And Verstappen still needs to get those tyres warmed up as well. Which he has done.
Charge the button off.
Oh, Verstappen with a very late sand
Recharge
on
on.
Leclerc. Where is Mick now?
Charge.
Mick has now dropped Pourchaire and Piastri and co. Oh, a big sand in the background from Stroll on Piastri. Big sand. Big sand. Verstappen now down the Camel Straight. Into the lead of the race. Side by side the Ferrari drivers are going. But keeping it respectable for the moment. But, wow. We've now got an 8-second gap to the drivers behind. And Mick is now 3.1 behind. Never back down, never would. Never back down, never would. Mick is now 2.9 to Russell on the much better softs. This could be it. This could be it. This could be it for Mick. Mick could have the best weekend of his career in an AlphaTauri of all cars. His teammate Hadjar is 16th. Mick is clear. Meanwhile, Leclerc round the outside of Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen defending for his life.
IDK if I heard it. Well, I don't know if you heard it either, or I mean, I don't know. Leclerc back into the lead. Verstappen not being an easy customer here. But Leclerc gets back through again. Sand on the inside again from Verstappen. Side by side they go. Upper Rouge as well. Do both Ferraris go? I'm yet to see a crash on Eau Rouge this game. I also have not seen the sound alert or well, I can't tell if I heard it, so you need to let me know if it plays. If the Riz one worked earlier, then I don't know why the other one wouldn't work. Mick now leading Russell. Can Mick escape Russell? Russell still has the DRS. Can Russell stay with him as our drivers are still side by side down the hill? We are rooting for Mick here to try and beat his Red Bull family here as there's a crash for
Have a look at that. Right, let's have a look here.
Awasa. Spins, yeah, spins, collides with the wall.
They hit the wall.
And Rip for Awasa was on for points now. On for nothing, really. Meanwhile, the Williams pair in the points. Love to see it. Mick still trying to drop Russell, but Russell staying with. Meanwhile, we're side by side up a Rouge again. Again, still yet to see a crash on this game at a Rouge. I don't know if they've coded it because it probably looks ridiculous. Because crashes at a Rouge are extremely high speed and dangerous. And tough to recreate, I would assume, for this game. Because I assume there's a lot of the car lifting off the ground. Russell gets ahead of Mick. And these two are going to be battling to the line, it seems. As our drivers are still side by side through the middle sector. At 15 they go. Leclerc on the inside, still side by side. Surely Leclerc's going to get the traction out of here. Doesn't seem he has though. Verstappen still keeping a wheel in, but Leclerc maybe out dragging him slightly. Gets the move ahead. Round the outside, Verstappen goes. Does not go for the move on a Rouge. Does go for the move on the Camel Straight. Side by side we're going here. And Verstappen getting through as we head on to lap 35. Our drivers continuing to battle here. Meanwhile, Mick Schumacher in P3 still battling with Russell. Our drivers battle down the Camel Straight. Leclerc leading us away.
Red flag, Max.
Red flag, and we had a 12-second lead. And who is the red flag for? It's for Maloney and Sonoda, who may be out of the race. But that is painful. Very painful. Do we even have fresh sauce to use? I don't even know, do we? I think we've vaguely fresh sauce to use. But a red flag this late on, we'd have 13-second lead. And the Alpine made a mistake, comes across the racing line, and that's a horrific crash
Oh my lord, I've not seen a crash like this on this game, where the car ahead makes like an error,
That moment meant.
and then the McLaren just stuck a wheel really where it shouldn't go. But wow, we're now gonna have like a 9-lap sprint until the end here. Verstappen doesn't have any fresh softs. He only has fresh mediums. I mean, Leclerc's on used softs, but again, Verstappen only has fresh mediums. He doesn't really have any used softs that are usable.
Balls in this race. We are all set. And
The drivers behind are also on the mediums. We now need to absolutely
away we go.
floor it with both our drivers here. Because we want to get away from the drivers behind. But Mick on the outside now of Verstappen. Can he find a way through? Stroll now, Sargent and Albon all on fresh softs could find themselves in a very good position here. But drama here. Following this red flag. Our drivers can absolutely push flat on these tyres to the end and on fuel. Mick unable to stay up with us, it seems. I really want to see Mick get this podium, but we have our own race to prioritise. Mick may be susceptible to all of the soft runners behind. And Russell, but we'll see here. Mick leading away. And Russell unable to get through yet, but Russell will have the DRS, you would assume, next lap. And Mick's unable to get a good enough distance ahead. But we have Leclerc on the softs, Verstappen on the mediums. We'll see what happens here. Russell has the DRS on Mick, but can Mick use any of the tyre that he has? Seems Russell's too close at this stage. Verstappen leads us away here.
Okay, 5 laps to go, Max.
Oh,
5 laps.
bit of cheeky defending there from Max. Leclerc sends it to the inside. Make it through here side by side up a Rouge. They're going to go yet again.
So focus on
Through Radion.
under control.
Can Verstappen get the DRS? Through he will. Will Russell get ahead of Mick now? And on lap 40 of 44, Mick may have to concede here to the Red Bull. Meanwhile, all of the runners in the softs going to look for a way through. Sargent in the P6, big result for him. If he can get it, Stroll, who had a bad qualifying, has now found himself back into very strong points here. As we head now onto lap 41. Will Mick get back through on Russell? Russell's completely lost the car. He's locked up and gone off into turn 1. Russell's out of the points. Just like that. And Russell has absolutely bottled it like he did in Singapore. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, Stroll now on the back of Mick. Mick defending for his life here. Wants this podium desperately. Oh, and Stroll's got ahead of Mick. Has Mick run wide?
Take a look at the replay. Right, let's follow the action now at turn 7.
Mick goes wide. Stroll gets through on the sauce. And now Mick has Sargent for company. He's going to send it on Pouon. Sargent in the P4. Unbelievable now. Sargent
into P4. Mick, it's going from bad to worse now. Stroll now may have another podium as Mick trying to fight his way through Sargent. And Sargent's went straight on! Sargent's went straight on as well!
Now this is Logan Sargent.
Mick Schumacher asked him, do you know what a kilometre is? And Sargent was like, what?
Very heavy on the brakes. What
Didn't
caused
know.
that, I wonder?
Sargent just did it. Did exactly what Russell did. And Sargent's points are gone. Verstappen now on the inside of the Kemmel Straight, make it through Leclerc here as well. Side by side they still go. Insane battling here. Absolute chaos is right in every tag. Albon now into P6. Mick P4, trying to battle from Pourchaire behind. Joe Awasa Vershoor into the points now. Gasly may even get some points if there's more carnage. We've also got Ocon and Hadjar. Hadjar, who's not got many points this season, is surely looking for them. As we head now onto the penultimate lap, we're going to tell both drivers. We're going to tell both drivers now to absolutely send it on each other. You know what I'm going to tell them? I'm going to tell them to both fucking to go hell for lather, see what happens. Oh, that's not the camera angle I wanted. I want to see what happens if I tell them both to aggressively overtake and both aggressively defend. What happens? Now heading on to the penultimate lap, Leclerc round the outside of Verstappen. Will Leclerc get through into the lead? Side by side they go. Up a rouge yet again. Verstappen still ahead. Leclerc will have the DRS. Verstappen wants this win, covers him off. Leclerc unable to get the move. Meanwhile, Stroll comfortably in P3. Mick defending from the two softeners behind. Leclerc now on the back of Verstappen. Verstappen trying to get his second win of the season. It'll be Leclerc's 10th of the season if he can find a way through now. Pourchaire and Albon all over the back of Mick. Mick trying to hold on to one of his best weekends of the season. But as we head on to the final lap, can Leclerc find a way through now? Verstappen still defending with everything he has. As into bus stop they go. Leclerc with the DRS. Verstappen doesn't want to let him through. Leclerc looking for way through, almost sends it into the back of Verstappen. Woo, ours out of work, but let's see here as we head on to the final lap. Verstappen may do it. Verstappen's pulled 6/10 to Leclerc out of turn 1. But can Leclerc find a way through? There's another yellow flag out. It's Awasa. And Hadjar has found himself in to the points in the AlphaTauri.
Here's the replay. Heading down the straight.
Awasa also locks up into turn 1. The third driver to do that. They're all just bottling it into turn 1, it seems. But as we go on the final lap here, Albon right up the gearbox. As we've got Joe and Piastri here as well. Meanwhile, we still have Leclerc and Verstappen battling here. Verstappen won the sprint. Leclerc has been an absolute tear. But can Verstappen negate the progress that he has been making? Or will Leclerc win yet again here? in Spa. Verstappen still keeping it ahead. Will Leclerc find an angle to send it through on his teammate? Verstappen trying to defend with everything he has. Into bus stop. Will Leclerc do a audacious send? It doesn't seem he will. Will he get the traction out of the final corner as we round the final corner? But it seems he won't. And Verstappen has done it. Verstappen has won. Meanwhile, Alex Albon into P4. Monster result for Williams there for Alex Albon. Mick Schumacher only gets P5 on what could have been a podium. Hadjar gets the fastest lap and P10. Big results for him in the AlphaTauri. More points for Haas with for sure, but it's another Ferrari 1-2, and Verstappen finally gets another win this season after not winning for so long. Finally gets that win. But Verstappen finally stops the bleeding in the championship. Albon up 14 places. What a race for him. Mick will take it, I'm sure, but it could have been a little bit better. Meanwhile, Tsunoda involved in another crash, which has caused him to retire yet again. A horrible season it has been for the McLaren driver. Also loses out to Pourchaire in the championship. Meanwhile, Leclerc is now, what is the math, 79 points ahead? I think he is 79 points ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen has closed the gap slightly with that win and the sprint win as well. But Verstappen is going to need a big haul in order to catch Leclerc. Meanwhile, Mick Schumacher jumps 5 places this weekend into P13. It was an insane race, never tag. That was very entertaining. And we've had a monster haul over McLaren. At the halfway point, chat, I think it is safe to say that we have won the Constructors. I don't see anyone catching us now. Almost 300 points ahead. I would be shocked if they catch. We're closing the gap again on the pit stop competition, which is what we need to do. Leclerc gets the fastest pit stop of the day alongside Esti Besti. Yeah, a good stress. You could have worse stressors, you'd have to say. You know? But our board are happy with us. We're happy with the board because they're allowing us to succeed. I think after Sepulveda won. How's Sepulveda doing in the championship? Let's see here. Let's see the F2 championship really quick. It is Sepulveda. Okay, chat. After Ollie Behrman gets promoted to us, I think I want to sign Sepulveda as a reserve because not only is she winning F2, but in my FM I have a dude called Sepulveda as a winger. So I'm like, I want to act like they're related in my head. I'm insane. Anyway, we need to add a front wing to Max's car. And let's look at the... they're related to me. Anyway, anything else need refurbished? Maybe the hospitality area. And Enrico Cordiales always has low morale, regardless of what is happening. We got a 1-2. Enrico is like unhappy at all times. The man just has depression, unfortunately. Enrico has yet to see a therapist. Contract end date is, yeah. So whenever we start next season, we're gonna need to re-sign Max, but Leclerc has a 3-year contract following next season. I think Ollie Behrman has he also has 3 years. So say Leclerc retires, then Ollie Behrman will just, you know, shift in. Anyway, we have the Dutch Grand Prix next. We're also going to get a new front wing in for the Dutch Grand Prix, which is pretty handy. I'm just going to make like 10 front wings because they're going to do us the rest of the season. We've got a couple of scouting updates in. Logie Sarge, George Russell. George Russell's on 28 million. Ocon's on only 12 as a former champion. I could see Ocon leaving McLaren. Ollie Behrman now, his defending has improved in slightly. His defending and overtaking is very low rated. We need to absolutely develop that. Let's see here. Yeah, we want to pit stop drill the fuck out of this shit. And then just gym training. Now the car building I would normally do, but I figured out that is just front wing changes, and you're already going to lose time regardless if you've lost the front wing, etc. So I actually do not care about car building at all. It is just gym training and pit stop errors. We are going to have the most yoked fucking pit crew you've ever seen. They're going to be absolutely jacked. Alright, that's good there. Yeah, it's part of the ship, part of the crew, you know. Absolutely part of the family, you know what I mean? Design center improvement. We are not designing anything, so no. We're not designing anything, we don't need that. Maybe at the start of the season that'd be nice, but we're not actually designing anything anymore. So, I think we're good. Is there anything need refurbed? Hospitality area. There we go. I wish I'd give you a notification whenever, like, shit needed refurbished. Instead of having to look. You know? Oh, Ricardo Adami gets... It's been a while since we've seen an engineer get a rating improvement. Underfloor manufactured. Let's look at the car now. I want to fire the front wing on the car. On both cars here. New front wing on the car. As you can see from our car chat, our car is just quick and straight. Nowhere else. We have a dragster. And no one can compete with a dragster. Anyway, oh, didn't mean to press that button. Next time out, chat, it'll be us in Zandvoort. But what I'm actually going to do now is wrap it up for the night. If you did enjoy, please drop a follow. I'll be back some other day. I don't want to guarantee I'm saying tomorrow because you never know with me. But anyway, thank you all for watching. We're going to raid Zach Rules on our way out, so make sure to drop him a follow as well. And I think I will be back tomorrow, but we'll see. Regardless, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.